Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in and welcome back. WTP Sports Dudes, and we talking college football this evening. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We rolling, and I got some very special guests with me tonight. I got the living legend, Mr. Robert Brown. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing great this evening. Good to be here tonight, ready to get in some of this talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I got my main man, the Aggie himself, SEC Shine. How you feeling this evening, homie?
Doing good, doing good. You know, I was going to be here when I saw that one topic you put out there. You knew I was going to be linked in right away.
I figure I can get you reeled in, man. I figure I can do that.
Yeah.
It's all good. I'm happy to see you in here.
Yeah, it's good to be with y'all.
For sure, for sure. And last but certainly not least, Mr. One Take Saya. How you doing this evening, homie?
I'm good. What up with you, post game? Hey, we was like, where post game at, man? We're post. We put an APB out for you. You popped up as soon as we put it out.
It's all good, man. I'm happy you in here with us on this here Thursday evening. Man, it is beautiful to have the WTP Sports Dudes all together and cooking on these here sports topics. And I'm going to get right to it. I'm not going to keep y'all waiting. And I'm going to start Rob, SEC, then One Take, and we're going to reverse it. So, Rob, what new coach will have the most success with their new team? There's a lot of new coaches and new places with different teams in college football for the upcoming season. What coach do you think is going to have the most success with his new team?
Man, the coach that I think is going to have the most success with their new team, and there's plenty of them out there. I'm going to have to steal this one from my man, One Take Zaya, because he's been talking a lot about this Penn State team and their schedule and the fact that with the schedule they got an opportunity to win a lot of games. And I'm picking Matt Campbell for that simple reason that they got an easier schedule than what they had in the past. He's going in there with a team that he brought a lot of players from Iowa State. We know how gritty that team is. His style of play fits the Big Ten. And when you don't have to play some of those juggernauts in the Big Ten, you got an opportunity to have a really, really good record. So I'm going with Matt Campbell at Penn State. I think he's going to be the coach that has the best record out of all of those new coaches at their new team.
Okay, Matt Campbell, one for Penn State. What you got on this, SEC?
Well, I'm going to go a little bit different here because, A, their schedule's a lot easier this year than it was last year, the last couple of years. But I'm going John Summerall down in Florida. Florida's got talent. We know that. They got some receivers. They got to get a quarterback, but I think they'll be okay there. They got Boz running back. I mean, they're going to be fine, I think. Based on what we've seen out of Florida the past couple years, again, their schedule has gotten a lot easier. And I just think that he's going to, define success. I'm not saying Florida's going to be in the playoff or anything by any means, but I'm saying Florida's probably going to be an 8-win team, 9-win team in that range. I think he has the ability to get them there.
Okay, John Summerall in Florida, the Florida Gators. I can dig it. One Take. What you got on this?
Man, I'm going to have to go with a sneaky pick. I can't think of the coach's name at Oklahoma State that came from North Texas. I was thinking him, but with the Big 12 being wide open with everything that happened with Sorsby, we still got that BYU animal land over there. But I'm going to go West Virginia with Rich Rodriguez. He got Hawkins, the backup from OU. I think if he can get his offense installed, man, I think they can make some noise. So I'm gonna go Rich Rodriguez.
First year head coach.
Oh,
I think.
that's his second year.
Yep.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna go. Morrison from Oklahoma State.
That's a
I was
really
just
good
gonna say
one,
that.
man.
Eric Morris. Yeah.
Bro, you
That's a
said
really.
North.
That's a really good one, man. I like what he was able to do at North Texas, and then him bringing his team essentially to Oklahoma State over to the Big 12 with Hawkins and that quarterback. I think they're going to be wonderful, but we'll see what happens. For me personally, fellas, and I don't like saying this because everybody know I rock with the Irish, but I'm going to say Kyle Whittingham at Michigan, and I'll tell you why. Bryce Underwood has lethal talent that hasn't been realized. Now, is Bryce Underwood just a dude or is he that dude? That remains to be seen. But one thing I do know, fellas, is that Kyle Whittingham develops and coaches and puts mobile athletic quarterbacks in positions to be successful. So if you telling me Kyle Whittingham has the most athletic, the most talented quarterback he's ever had in his career, then I am going to say that Kyle Whittingham is going to finish the best amongst the new coaches. Anything else y'all got on that, fellas?
Who is the new coach as far as a sleeper maybe out of UCLA? Because I've heard people say UCLA could be a sneaky team this year, but I don't remember who the head coach is.
The head coach at UCLA, I know the one at Cal is Tosh Lupawi. Lupui. I apologize if I got that wrong, but I heard a lot of good things as far as UCLA as well. Man, shout out to Liam in the chat. He said, "Yo, hyped. I caught a show. Salute from NY. Salute to you, homie, and shout out to your New York Knicks. And we appreciate you being here and rocking with us tonight." He said, "Brian Hartline. Brian Hartline with the South Florida, correct?"
Yeah, I like that pick, man. I like that name, Brian Hartline. We know what he did at Ohio State with those wide receivers. Can he start to pull some of those wide receivers who may not be on the radar of some of these big schools and turn them into big time wide receivers to the point where he starts to get some of those big time wide receivers? I like Brian Hartline right there. I like his offensive mind, and I think he's going to do wonders down there in South Florida. That's a really good pick, Liam. Really good pick.
It's Bob Chesney, the James Madison head coach, is now at UCLA.
There you go, right there. There you go, right there. Liam back in the chat. He said, "We finally did it. Just need the Irish to come through." We absolutely do, man. We absolutely do. My man Liam, man, the best pair of gold shoes I saw at Notre Dame Stadium for sure. Let's move on, fellas. My next question for y'all is, what Power Four team has the best chance to finish the regular season undefeated? I'm gonna start with you on this one, Take.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just go with the obvious choice. It got to be Notre Dame. You know, with how much depth they got on their team. I'm sorry to steal your squad though. Post game, you know, y'all got the depth though, and I think y'all just got 2 or 3 swing games. If y'all make it out of them games, y'all should be pretty much undefeated. I actually put me a ticket in to say that y'all went undefeated, so I hope y'all do because I want my money.
That's for sure, man. That's smart money, man. That's smart money if you ask me. SEC Shine, who you got, man?
Well, real quick, Zay, we think alike because I did the same thing. I was going to go Notre Dame as well, based on what he said, but I'll pick somebody different just for parity's sake. I'm going to run it with something crazy here. I'm going to go with Houston. I'm going to go with the University of Houston. I think they get Tech, and I think if they get Tech, I think they're pretty good. So I'm going to go with University of Houston.
So can you tell me why you picking Houston? Like what stands out as far as
straight experience to me. They were good last year, and they got a lot of those cats back. Wegman has only grown up. They've got some, key recruits coming in. I like the way that team plays. I know the city of Houston backs that team like crazy. Like I said, experience is the main thing for me. They've got an experienced quarterback who's been a starter in the SEC, albeit short-lived, but he did get that SEC experience and looked good in a few games in the SEC. Last year was his first year in that program really running, so feel out. He's got a lot of those same weapons back now, and they've just done nothing but had a whole year and off season to just gel. So I like Houston out of the Big 12 a lot.
Yeah, I do too. I like Houston as well. Don't forget the pickup of Mekhi Hughes as well. I think that's a great addition to that Houston team. Rob, what you got on this, my man?
Man, I think we always thinking Notre Dame right off the bat because we feel like they can really run the table on that schedule that they have and the fact that they are one of the best teams in the country, offensively and defensively. Then I said, man, the Big 12, they definitely going to have somebody go undefeated, either Texas Tech, Houston, or BYU. So I can't go that way because SEC Sean went that way. So Miami was my next choice. Sorry, Mossberger, Level Up Sports 10, I got to steal your pick. I'm going with Miami. I feel like Miami last year made it to the national championship game, lost 2 games in the regular season that they could have won. I think they're going to be primed to go undefeated this year. They bring in Darian Mensah, who we feel like is probably going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country, in a group of great quarterbacks that we think are going to be this in the college game this year. Then you add Malachi in the mix in that slot position. And then you got Fletcher at running back. You know their offensive line is going to be good because their head coach is an offensive line guy. I'm going to go with Miami. I think they can go undefeated in that ACC and mess around and make the playoffs as an undefeated team.
Okay, so we got one for the U. Miami, that is, the Hurricanes. Now, let me ask you a question, Rob, because Notre Dame is on Miami's schedule. If you were a betting man, how much money would you be willing to put down on Miami going undefeated?
I'm going to take a page out of Brendan Sorsby's book and only bet $1.25.
That's that's hilarious. $1.25. Okay, man. I'll rock with it. I'll rock with it.
What I'll tell you, Rob, is put you a deposit. When you put a deposit, you'll get bonus bets of like 50-cent increments. So just deposit the minimum and then use one of those bets, 50 cents.
Man, come on, man. My man Level Up Sports 10 in the chat, he said, I'll double back and say SMU from the ACC. Mossberg, you know you my mans. You gonna eat those words, my guy. You gonna eat those
Rob,
words. Go ahead, Zay.
You went directly opposite of me. Now I feel like I'm not about to win no money, man.
Hey, it's all right, man. I know you got plenty of money to do some more bets with.
Hey, I do want to throw out a sleeper team if that's all right with you, Post.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I want to throw SMU out there. They avoid Miami. I don't think they really got nothing in the in the non-conference, but avoid Miami is big for them, and they
Well,
got probably who I would say is probably the second or top three quarterbacks in the league. So I like SMU's chances to go undefeated this year too. And they only been in the ACC 2 years. I think what they got 20 wins in there. So we know they can do some stuff in the ACC.
isn't SMU on Notre Dame schedule too?
They are.
No,
That's yes, they are.
They are. Yeah. No, you
You
want to
gonna
change
cost
it
I,
now?
yourself?
I
One take? You want to change it now?
You gonna
I,
cost
I,
yourself
I
some
don't
money?
know.
One take.
I don't know how I missed that, but hey, that's one hard game. I like how they fare in all the other games.
That's what I feel
I
about
can
Houston.
dig
I
it.
think Houston's got Tech, and I think that's their hardest game they're going to face. If they can get over Tech, I think Houston runs through it.
So SMU has Florida State, UC Davis, Louisville at Louisville. I think they're going to lose that game. Me personally, Missouri State, Boston College, Virginia, Cal, Syracuse, Vatech, Wake Forest, at Notre Dame, at Stanford. I mean, I definitely respect you guys' opinion. That's for sure. But I truly believe SMU could be a playoff team this season. I don't think they'll go undefeated, but I definitely think SMU can sneak into the playoffs. Y'all got anything else on that?
I mean, I
No?
can see it, man. Jennings is a heck of a quarterback with a whole lot of experience.
Hey, what Leon said, he said a Texas team in South Bend in late November. Eek. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you on that. So let's move on, fellas. If you don't have anything else to add, and let's talk about my man, SEC Shine's head coach, Mr. Mike Elko, former defensive coordinator at the University of Notre Dame, former University of Duke head coach. So, and this happened a little bit ago. I forget the 5-star linebacker's name. You remember his name, SEC? The linebacker y'all got,
Uh,
the five
it's
star
uh, it's either Keelan or Keyshawn Henderson.
Henderson. Yes. So apparently, Elko told Henderson that him and Marcus Freeman share the same agent, and that he had new or insight that Marcus Freeman, this would be Marcus Freeman's last year at Notre Dame. So Henderson should commit to Texas A&M. Henderson commits to Texas A&M. Now, I did see a video today where Marcus Freeman was on a podcast and he was saying that he wants to retire from the University of Notre Dame, and that made me feel a lot better. But I'm not going to front. When I first heard those remarks and the fact that they shared the same agent, that kind of had me worried. So I'm gonna ask y'all, and I'll start with you on this, Rob. Mike Elko's recruiting tactics, fair or foul?
He might be onto something right there, man, because we all know that Marcus Freeman is one of the hottest coaches out there. And I really feel like there are going to be teams in the NFL who are going to force Marcus Freeman to tell them no. You're going to have to tell me no when I throw this bag at you. And I think at some point, Marcus Freeman is going to say, man, listen, I got to go test this NFL market. I got to go see what I can do at the highest level of football. And I think that Mike Elko is pointing out the obvious, that Marcus Freeman is not going to be at Notre Dame, especially if y'all win the national championship. He's out of there, bro. I think it's fair play.
What you got? One take.
Hey, I just want to say Rob made that sound like somebody was getting recruited to a Diddy party. Man. Hey, but nah. Nah, I don't believe in dirty. That's like Dirty Mac, bro. I can't stand a Dirty Macker, bro. Like, come on, you can't get the hot girl on your own. Like, don't Dirty Mac and play the next brother. Nah, don't do that, man. I don't like it.
I'm gonna tell y'all this. I think it's fair. I think that's fair tactics. Why do I think that's fair? How else are you supposed to go at the hottest recruiter in the country? That's not me being biased. That's just what it is. Marcus Freeman has been barbecuing the recruiting trail. How else are you going to recruit against him? He's getting a lot of kids to come to Notre Dame that I don't think none of the past coaches we've had in the last 20, 25 years could have gotten them to Notre Dame. So I'm gonna say fair because it's like how else can you recruit against Notre Dame right now? One of the hottest teams in the country, one of the hottest coaches in the country. So I'm not mad at Elko for saying that, whether it's true or not. I don't think it's true. I think Marcus Free. I just don't believe you recruit at that level, right? Just to tell the kids I'm going to the NFL. Like what better job could you get right now, in my opinion? Maybe if he wanted to go to his alma mater, Ohio State, but I don't see Ryan Day going anywhere. You gonna leave Notre Dame for the Cincinnati Bengals? Ugh. You know what I'm saying? I don't I don't see that. I think Marcus Freeman is in a very good situation. And even if he does win a national championship, let's get 2 or 3. Why not? Y'all got anything else?
Yeah, I'd like to give my insight on it.
Go ahead.
Yeah. A, we need to find out first off if we're going to use that against him. Is it fair? Is it legit? Is it real? B, if it is real, why is the agent sharing information about Mike Elko? That's something Marcus Freeman might want to look into. As far as recruiting, Notre Dame's on a heater. A&M's on a heater. They're both outpacing everybody. So if that's your angle to get the edge on, in my mind, this cycle right now with what we're seeing, to get an edge on the next closest competitor to your recruiting, you take whatever you can to get that kid. If you think that kid is that much of a game changer, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, if he got the information from the agent and passed it on, that's fine. If the agent literally told him that. If Mike Elko, and let me state, I don't believe Mike Elko's out there making up stories. Okay? I don't think that's Mike Elko's character to go in and just say, oh, well, I heard that. So I don't have a problem with it. I have more of a problem with the Texas Tech fans I'm dealing with telling us that A&M spending more money than anybody. Well, they did it in softball, so whatever. But Liam, you seem like a good guy. Post likes you, but man, come on, man. You're gonna throw out the dietitian comment about Mike Elko? Come on, man. You know, Mike. I'm gonna put it this way. I'm gonna say Mike probably wasn't that big until he got into Texas. But when you get down to Texas and start slurping up that barbecue like that, it'll add a few pounds to you pretty quick. But that was probably a comment that I thought I was going to lose it on. So funny comment, really funny. But I'm fair with it. I'm fine with it, Post. I'm good.
Yeah, and definitely, man. I mean, recruiting is a dirty game, right? Like even the best programs in the country, like you mentioned, you gotta you gotta have an edge over your competition. I'm sorry, y'all. Liam got me rolling, man. He in the chat. If I can get, he's a fan of cheeseburgers. I am too. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with cheeseburgers, man. He said all that drinking at the ND losses for me. I get it. I'm right. I'm right there with you. I mean, fellas. I mean, I don't. I, I mean, I wanted Henderson on the team. I wanted Henderson to commit to Notre Dame. You know, but he committed to A&M, and I'm sure SEC Shine is happy about that. I'm sure that fan base is happy about that. That's going to be a really good player. So I don't have an issue with it, man. If that was the edge he needed to get, the kid to commit to A&M, then so be it. Anything else, fellas?
Y'all just got that offensive lineman we were in a battle with, right? Simeon. We were top two for him. So it's like, if you got Henderson, maybe we get Simeon. If we get Simeon, you get Henderson. To me, it was whichever with that. So,
yeah, it's all good.
They're just both on heaters right now, post those two schools. Crushing it.
Hey, that is 100% true. Notre Dame and Texas A&M are still 1 and 2 in the country in recruiting. Some mega classes for sure. Let me move on to the next question, fellas. Does 5-for-5 affect high school recruiting at all? SEC, why don't you start on this one, my man?
No. If anything, it's going to affect the transfer portal more, because you can get players in the portal, but 5-for-5, you're still going to have to get kids out of high school for depth and stuff. So you got to be able to you're just going to have to develop them to get them on the field. I don't think it affects high school recruiting at all. High school recruiting is still the backbone of college football, college athletics, period. But with 5-for-5, knowing, let's say, for example, we spent $4 million on Henderson to come to A&M, and we got him for allegedly 5 years. We all know they don't stay that long, but we know that in year 3, he needs to be on the field. He needs to probably be on the field year 1 or 2, but by year 3, he definitely needs to be on the field. So it's not like we can go just get a transfer player for him. So I don't think it affects high school at all. I think it'll affect the portal some.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think coaches with the 5-for-5 deal, do you think they'll be looking for players more so that could come and contribute right away?
I do. I think with the portal, if you're looking at what are they going to look for out of high school or recruiting or out of the portal, out of high school, you're going to be looking for kids that are close. You're going to look for more high ceiling kids that are closer to their ceiling than you are kids that are more developmental for 5-for-5. You're going to get some of those developmental, but you're going to get kids higher to their ceiling. And when it comes to the portal, you're going to build your roster with recruiting, and you're going to look and say, I need a safety. And you're going to go find you a safety in the portal and bring him in and bam, plug a hole. That's all you're going to use the portal for at that point, which really, in my mind, is what it should be used for, not building an entire roster.
Yeah. What you got on this, Rob?
I think it's going to affect high school recruiting in a couple of different ways. When you think about it, if you're one of those players who, want to get out there on the field, that you can get out there and play a whole season your freshman year on special teams and really get out there and make a name for yourself. So I think that anytime you got a player who may not be so highly ranked, he knows he can go to a big name school if they recruiting him and get on the field. And like SEC Sean was saying earlier too, these guys understand that some of these coaches and teams are going to be looking for developmental guys who they want to be on their campus for 5 years. So you can probably get a guy who can become a Charlie Hustle and get out there on special teams and work his tail off. But by year 5, he mess around and can become your starter. I mean, we see what Michael Tapp did as a walk-on at Texas. So I'm quite sure these high school guys are going to be looking at it in that same way, since they're no longer probably going to be taking walk-ons. because they got all of these 105 scholarships that they can give out. So I think it's going to affect high school recruiting in a couple of different ways, and I think as time goes by, we're going to get to see some of those ways.
Yeah, great point, my man. What take Zay? What you got on this?
Yeah, I think anytime you have changes within eligibility is going to affect recruitment, um, just because you playing on a different level field. But I think the biggest impact is kind of what Sean said, that it's going to affect the portal, because I think these younger guys are going to start putting out some of these older guys that's on some of these teams that's not performing. So like the big dogs, Notre Dame, Texas, Ohio State, A&M got the best class right now. You're gonna start seeing these guys probably stack on rosters, and I think we kind of headed back towards seeing more stacked rosters than we originally did with NIL. But the difference is some of these 5 or high 4-star guys, that if they don't see you producing, that they gonna get pushed out. I think it's more of an effect on the portal, but it's going to be a big effect on recruitment too. But I just think it's a more of an effect on the portal. But I also think that just because a guy goes somewhere, and he not producing, sometimes you see that they need that change of scenery anyway. So maybe it just wasn't a good fit right out the gate. So I think everything is going to keep on cycling like it is, though. Like, you're going to continue to see the same guys, the same type of recruits go to the same places, because at the end of the day, money rules the world.
And keep it going round. Great points, fellas. This 5 for 5 thing is interesting, and I think it's a good move for college football. I'm sure there will be exceptions though. Like I can't see them if a guy tears his ACL twice. Do you think they gonna tell him 5 for 5? Anybody? I just
I
want
do.
your opinion on that.
I do.
Nah, I think it'll be medical red shirt, like cases where they grant people extra years. I feel you on that one.
If they do, I think it's one medical red shirt. Even if you tear your Achilles twice, you've got some of these guys that we've seen. What was I'm not even going to try to remember his name, but he played tight end for Miami. He's played like 8 years. We've got a guy at North Dakota State who transferred to a college. It's playing his 9th year of eligibility. What are we doing here? Come on. That's getting out of hand. So I get one medical red shirt, but I won't go above that. The big caveat in all this is you have to get the one transfer and you're done rule in.
How many of those multi-year injured guys actually turn out to be phenomenal players after coming back from multiple injuries like that? So I think college is probably looking at the fact that, listen, these guys, once you have 2 horrendous injuries like that, your chances of coming back and being productive like you were before the injury is probably not going to happen. So they're probably thinking to themselves, like, listen, let's go ahead and cut our ties with this kind of thing. We want you to get your education, get it in them 5 years, but don't think that you're going to be able to come out here and play on this football field when really you're going to be taking up a space for somebody else who could be out there playing, especially if you already had 2 serious ones.
Well, I get that point too. I get it too. Um, Anything else on this, y'all? No.
I got a quick question for you, real quick. Something related to this. Just a question, if you don't mind.
No. Go ahead, bro.
With the 5 for 5 in play and open transfers right now, there's not one limit. Do you think with the construction of that, do you think it's going to actually push some of these kids to the G5 schools? Do you think you're going to see an uptick in talent at that level?
Because of the limited eligibility?
Right, because coaches may know, well, I just got, okay, A&M, I'll use A&M as an example. Last year, we got the number one running back in the country out of Carthage High School in Texas. They're saying we may not even pursue Landon Callis Williams, who's the number one running back in Texas, because we have him, and one of them's probably going to leave based on. So if this is in play 5 for 5, and we don't go after Will Williams, and let's say Texas, every other program, I mean, could he drop down to like the group of 5 and then transfer back to a power 4 later? Is it going to build the rosters at the the group of 5 level?
You know what, SEC Sean, I can see that. Guys wanting the opportunity to do their thing. Let me go here to this school, shine for a couple years. I can see that. I definitely can see that. Y'all got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's kind of.
No, go ahead, one take. Go ahead.
That's kind of what I was saying about. I think those kids is gonna push the guys that wasn't performing out, and I think when you don't have enough film, that the G5, they're more likely to take the guys that came in as freshmen. Now they might be sophomores or juniors, but they was highly rated guys. They're more likely to get those guys that hit the portal than the guys that come straight from high school, because you a G5, you looking at a 5-star, a former 5-star in the portal, you looking like, man, talent wise, he was more highly touted than everybody on my roster. Let's see if we can, get this kid some love and show him some things and see if his talent can bubble on this level. So that's why I said them high school dudes, they're gonna start pushing guys out. I seen it with my Buckeyes this year. We stopped taking flyers on the top talent in the country through the high school ranks, but we did get the guys that we wanted, but we went for more experienced players in the portal that had proven track records and film. So we're going to still take top guys, but we pushed a lot of guys out that wanted to get paid, like Bryce West. They paid him 6 figures, a nice 6-figure deal at Wisconsin that we wasn't willing to pay because we like, you ain't showed us, bro, and we don't think you worth that. But Wisconsin will take you and pay you that because you was highly recruited in high school.
Yeah, I don't see these college players who have an opportunity to make money at a Power 4 school, no matter how small that amount might be, and then go down and play at a group of 5 school, unless it's about playing time and they just want to try to rebuild themselves up to get back to a Power 4 school. But as long as that money is on the table at a Power 4 school, I don't see these guys going to a group of 5 school, maybe a lower tier Power 4 school where they can still get some money and then go and play. But I think a lot of guys coming out of high school, especially if they're a low star rated player, they might choose the group of 5 option to go and get the experience because they know now there's a trend that's happening in college football where the coaches who we know are going to be on coaching teams that are going to probably make the college football playoffs every year or have an opportunity to, are going to be looking for players who've gotten a lot of experience playing. And if they played at a group of 5 school for 2 or 3 years, they know that those coaches are going to be looking for them because of the experience they already have, as opposed to looking for a high school guy, like in the instance that one take Zay is saying, why spend all this money on this guy to come in to your team, and then he ended up going somewhere else because he ain't getting no playing time, or because another guy then came in and took his slot. Why waste 6 figures on a guy who might end up somewhere else in a year or two anyway?
See, when SEC Sean asked that, this is what I envision. I envision, let's say, a guy who's been at a program, let's say IU, for 3 years. You know, they recruit a really talented player at your position, highly touted player out of high school. He's coming in. You've already made money, the few years you've been at that school, and you know you're not going to start at IU this season. Why not transfer to a smaller school, a group of five school? You already done been paid and get your shine on and try to get to the NFL. That's kind of how I took it, though. I don't know. That was a really good question. Anything else, fellas?
I mean, that's a possible scenario for somebody, you know. You
Yeah,
can't rule it out.
for sure. I let's once this time of the year hits, man, we know we're really close to college football, and of course we are crazy college football heads. Um, and I wanted to ask you guys, I wanted to go through each conference, and I wanted to know, just going into the season. Now I'm gonna start with one take on this. Going into the season, who's the best player in each of these respected conferences? I'm gonna start with the ACC one take. Who's the best player in the ACC? No one take. All right, SEC Shine. Who's the best player in the ACC?
This is a tough one. I'm gonna take Jennings from SMU. I just think he's dynamic. I think he's super dynamic. And it's tough. There's some dudes down at the U down there in southern Florida. So, but I'm gonna go on a limb here a little bit. I'm gonna take Jennings from SMU.
What you got, Rob?
I mean, I'm glad he went with SMU guy, man, because I'm going with Malachi Tony as the U.
So let me ask you, SEC Shine. Do you think Kevin Jennings is the best quarterback in the ACC, or you think he's the best player in the ACC?
Well, I think it's a little both. I think he can do a little bit of everything. He can run the ball. He can throw the ball. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife back there. He's a typical dual threat.
You would take him. You would take him over Mensa.
Yes.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not connected to the Wi-Fi. It'd be scrambling when you do that. But yeah, I was gonna say Mensa. I heard you say Mensa post game, but I was saying he gonna finish in the top three in my eyes in Heisman voting. So I gotta go him.
Rob, when you said Tony, right? Do you think Tony is? I'm asking you the same thing I asked SEC. Do you think Tony is the best player in the ACC or the best wide receiver in the ACC?
I think he is the best player in the ACC. I feel like when you put the ball in that guy's hands, he could do so many things. He can change the dynamic of the game when he get those touches, man. And I think we seen a lot of that last year. A true freshman who reclassified, I might add. And now he in his second year with a better quarterback, in my opinion, with a more experienced running back in Fletcher, who balled out last year. I think Malachi Tony is the best player. Now, I know Deuce Robinson got something to say about that. I know Mensa got something to say about that. But I'm picking Malachi Tony as the best player in the ACC.
I'm gonna ask you this question as well. One take: do you think Mensa is the best player in the ACC, or is he the best quarterback in the ACC?
When you asked Rob that, man, my antenna raised, and I was like, "Who am I missing?" And I put it on. I put it on like Isaac Brown, bro. I'm gonna have to say Isaac Brown is actually the best player in the ACC. Because he got a cape on his back and he show up every week he on the field, bro. And they wouldn't do. I don't think they nothing without him.
I was gonna say Isaac Brown for the ACC. So I'm with you on that point. I like Isaac Brown. I think he's a very versatile, electric running back, and he's going to do big things for Louisville this season. As well as getting Lincoln King host from Ohio State, I think that's going to help him out a lot. So let's move on to the Big Ten. Rob, who's the best player in the Big Ten?
I mean, the best player in the country, Jeremiah Smith.
What you got, SEC?
Well, this is why I hate going second on some of these. This is a top, and then again, I'm going to take another quarterback out of there from Oregon. I'm going to take more out of Oregon. I think he's a substantial player. That's where I'd go with. I'd go with more in my mind.
Yeah, I like that pick. It's tough because we value quarterbacks like on a different level. So it's tough to put any position over. But I want to know what One Take think. Go ahead, One Take.
I want to keep it kind of interesting and throw some other names. We know Jeremiah Smith. I think he's the best player in the country, but I'm gonna throw a name out there: Carter Smith, tackle from Indiana. I think that kid is probably going to be the best tackle in the draft.
Okay, so we got a QB, wide receiver, and a tackle. Listen, man, I'm still sticking with Jeremiah Smith. That dude is a freak of nature. Um, he can run any route. He gonna catch it at the line of scrimmage, midfield, catch it deep. It don't matter. That dude is a matchup nightmare, and a handful for anybody to deal with. So I'm gonna stick with Smith, even though I really like the Dante Moore pick. I like that a lot. You can't go wrong with a quarterback. Let's move to the SEC, and I'll start with One Take on this one. Best player in the SEC.
I'm gonna go with Ahmad Hardy all day. I think Ahmad Hardy, running back from Missouri, he gonna have a cape on his back. He got a lot to do this year. I think he can figure out how to have him in contention, and I think he'll show his worth of a playoff berth.
What you got, SEC?
Going with a running back, but going one with a little bit further south than there. Gonna go Kewan Lacey.
Okay, Kewan Lacey, best player in the SEC. What you got, Rob?
In my mind, yeah.
Okay.
Colin Simmons, Texas, best player in the SEC.
Now, see, I know you guys are SEC guys, so I want to ask you what. I'll start with you, Rob. What separates Colin Simmons from everybody else?
What separates Colin Simmons from everybody else is his BGO, his ball get off is unbelievable. And we know that when you got a player who can get after the quarterback, who can make tackles have nightmares, and can get after that quarterback like that, man, he can really change the game, because you have to change your whole offensive scheme on a guy like that, which takes away from your offense. And I think he's going to affect the game much more than any of those offensive players are going to. So I'm going with Colin Simmons because I just think that he's that dynamic. And he's going into his third year, which means he's going to be much better against the run.
Good point. Well, Liam, I don't think Arch was mentioned because, he wasn't the most impressive quarterback at the Madden Academy. I don't know. SEC Sean, what makes you say that Lacey is the best player in the SEC?
I'll get to Lacey, but I'm really shocked Rob didn't go with Peyton and Eli's nephew. And as far as BGO, that's going to translate to boy, get out of here. That's going to be coming up pretty soon. At least I hope, because that dude's a menace. But Lacey is just Lacey, dude. He's electric. If you watched him last year, anytime he touches the ball, it's a hold your breath moment. If Ole Miss is on offense, you don't go to the concession stands or the bathroom because you're going to miss something, whether he's running it, whether he's catching it. I'm not going to be surprised if Ole Miss is trailing in a game and they need a punt or kickoff return to set them up for a late score, that they don't throw him back there to do that too. That kid is electric. He's one of the most electric, game-changing running backs I've seen. Ahmad Hardy is amazing. Ahmad Hardy's not that breakaway speed back. He's more of a power wear you down. He's still quick, don't get me wrong. Lacey's something else, though. Lacey's just a whole different animal.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one said Ball, but I understand why y'all are going with Hardy and the kid from Mississippi. I mean, I want to say Lacey, but I mean, Ball is really impressive too, man. That's the SEC. That's for the SEC conference. That's a tough question. That's a really tough question because I can see Lacey dominating, I can see Hardy dominating, I can see Ball dominating, and all three of them might all dominate same season, same time.
We
So
didn't even mention Georgia's running back.
then he mentions George.
Hey, I was torn between Ahmad Hardy and Bray Hubbard, the safety at Bama. That dude be all over the field.
Okay, some good picks, fellas. What about the Big 12 going into the season? Who do you have? And somebody in the chat said Cam Coleman, but who do you have being as the best player in your mind in the Big 12 heading into the season? One take.
Yeah, I'm going with a player for Texas Tech. Remember this name. I think he's going to be right in there for the Jim Thorpe Award this year. Bryce Pollock. Yeah, the cornerback. Dude is a ball hawk. And he fast. He got like world-class speed or something. And he ran the 4x100 or something. Dude is world-class fast. He be all over that field. Last year, I seen him catch 2 interceptions, I think in one game or something. Or it's something like that. He did something crazy. But that dude is a beast. I think he's going to be one of the top corners taken in the draft this upcoming year.
Okay. How about you, SEC?
The Big 12, torn between two. So I'm going to go with one. And if nobody says the other one, I'll mention him later, just to kind of throw it out there. But I'm going to stay in the running back room. I'm going to shift out west to Provo. And I'm going to take L.J. Martin. And I think what he brings to that offense with the experience and the level he is of his maturity, especially when you had a freshman quarterback, I think he's going to do nothing but get even better. Another dynamic running back that I think it makes BYU what BYU is.
You took my pick, my man. You took my pick, and I'm extremely disappointed now. What you got on this, Rob?
Man, he took my pick too, man. I don't know too many Big 12 dudes, man. So if they only got 2 guys we can mention, they ain't doing too much. I'm gonna go with the guy at Oklahoma State, the quarterback. He didn't have the greatest time at the Manning camp, but he did all right. Out of North Texas, I'm gonna go with him. His last name escapes me. Muscle Maker or something like that. Nestamaker. Say it again. Mestamaker, yeah. Drew Mestamaker. I'm going to go with him. I think he's got an opportunity to light up the Big 12 this year. I hope he does so because I want to see Oklahoma State get back on the map. I don't want them to be doormats anymore. The last 2 seasons, they haven't been good at all.
Yeah, great picks. Great picks. I'm going to say Noah Fafita, the quarterback at Arizona. Coming off over 3,000 yards, I believe like 29 touchdowns last season. He's been a 4-year starter. I think he brings a lot of experience, a lot of solid quarterback play. Since L.J. Martin was taken, who would be my first choice, I'm going to say Noah Fafita. Best player in the ACC coming into the season. guys, I found this commitment interesting. Marvin Harrison, Starvin Marvin, one of the greatest wide receiver in NFL history. He has two sons that play football, at least two that I know. Marv and then Jet Harrison, who commits to Ohio State. Who do y'all think will be the better player, Marv Harrison Jr. or Jet Harrison? Go ahead, Rob.
Man, I haven't seen Jet Harrison do what Marvin Harrison has already done at the Ohio State Buckeyes, so I'm going with Marvin Harrison Jr. That dude was unfreaking guardable. So until Jet Harrison put up them kind of stats and show me that on that field at Ohio State, then I got to go with his big brother, Marvin Harrison Jr.
What you got, SEC?
Yeah, I got to agree with that. You've seen too many highly ranked kids now. You need to prove. I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, I wish the kid all success, but I've seen it one too many times to where it just doesn't work out for some reason or another. So I'm gonna go with the bigger brother on for now. Let's check back in a couple of years, and we'll see if our thoughts have changed.
One take. What you got for us, man?
So, Jet he's his brother. They're built different. I think Jet definitely has the potential to be better than Marv. For the simple fact that you could put him at the end. He for any of those. I give you this. Hello.
You breaking up real bad. Breaking up real bad. I'm gonna come back to you, Zay. I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna come back to you on this one. I think yes. I mean, you guys make really good points. I think Jet Harrison potentially could be better than Marv. He's higher. He's ranked a little higher coming out of high school. I think Marv is the bigger body receiver, the possession guy. I think Jet might be a guy who can really stretch the field and be really explosive. Like I said, he's rated higher amongst recruits in the nation. I believe Marv was a high 4-star and Jet is the 5-star. I don't know. We'll see. But man, I don't like basing things off potential. So I guess I'm gonna give the slight edge to Marv, but I will not be surprised if he was the better receiver at Ohio State. You with us, Zay?
Yeah, how do I sound?
Perfect.
Yeah, I was saying that Jet he's built different than Marv, so he got the body for the X, Y, or the Z. I think he's more versatile than Marv was. I think he got a little more twitch and more explosiveness. But I'm with you, Post. I don't like the, the basing it off of like the potential thing. So I want to see it, but without a doubt, his ceiling is higher. And hey, I just want to say, wide receiver, you continues. This is back to back 3 classes. 5-star receivers. We're gonna keep rolling them in.
Yeah, no doubt about that. That's definitely a NFL factory for wide receivers, man. There's no doubt about that. I'm excited to see Jet Harrison's career play out. That's for sure. Last question, fellas. ESPN names Notre Dame's Leonard Moore the best defensive player in the country. Agree or disagree? I'm gonna start with you, Mr. SEC.
Ooh, there's some good defensive players out there this year, man. But Zay was spot on with the guy from Bama, the one from Tech. That safety from Bama is something else. But I'm going to agree. And here's why. He's a cornerback that you automatically know you don't throw to that side of the field. It's done. You don't go that way. That half of the field is shut down, which that in itself makes Notre Dame's defense that much better, knowing we only have to defend half the field with the pass, because Leonard's going to take care of everything over here. So there's some other great ones out there, but I'm going to have to go that I agree with Leonard Moore as the defensive player of the year.
What you got? One take.
Anytime I hear Jeremiah Smith player.
Oh, you breaking up real bad. You breaking up. We're gonna come back to you. What you got, Rob?
Yeah, I gotta agree, man. I don't want to agree, but I gotta agree, man. That Leonard Moore is the best defensive player in the country in college football, man. Like SEC Sean said, whenever you got a guy who can shut down one whole side of a field, and all you got to do is focus on what you're going to do on the other side as a defensive coordinator, I mean, that's your greatest gift. We saw what Deion Sanders did when he went to San Francisco and shut down one whole side of the field, then flipped and went over to the Cowboys and won Super Bowls there. We know how important a cornerback is to any football team. And when you can take away a receiver, I mean, we've seen it with Revis Island. We've seen it with a lot of great defensive backs, man. They just make – normally the pass rusher makes it better for defensive backs, but in this case, Leonard Moore is making it better for his pass rushers. I totally agree with that one.
Okay.
Well, and let me throw this real quick. Another reason I said something about it before we jump to Zay. Leonard is one cornerback that is not afraid to stick his nose down and get down and dirty at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And that's hugely important, because not only is he shutting down half the field with the pass game, but you got to think twice about running to his side too, because he's a sure tackler. So that's the other reason I give it to him.
Yeah. You ready to roll, Zay?
Phone tripping? Is it tripping? How I sound?
You sound better.
All right. Yeah, man, listen. Anytime that stamp you, due respect. Jeremiah, if he ain't one, he top 3. But I'm going to say he is, because Jeremiah stamped him, and I don't think nobody can really guard Jeremiah. I think you need 3 dudes to guard him.
For sure. Yeah, Zay, can you go on mute? Cool. The thing that I love most about Leonard Moore is, first of all, this guy was a 3-star coming out of high school. So, I mean, that's just another example of sometimes stars don't catch what they need to catch. These talent evaluators sometimes don't catch what they need to catch, and they miss on these players. Leonard Moore is elite. The thing that I like most about his game is he's able to travel boundary, slot, field, anywhere where you have a opposing wide receiver who's a big threat. You can move him anywhere on the field and he can cover them. So that's what I love about Leonard Moore, and I definitely agree he's the best defender in the country. Anything else, fellas, before we get out of here?
You being a Notre Dame guy. One question I had about Leonard Moore real quick, post, and you probably answer it better than anybody I know. Was he in the first recruiting class under Freeman? Or was he Kelly's last?
This would be his junior. So, yeah, he was a Freeman recruit.
Well, you were talking about the 3-star. That just tells you all you need to know about Marcus Freeman's recruiting. You find a 3-star that turns into that under his tutelage, tells you all you need to know.
Absolutely, absolutely. One take, you got something? Want to take you there? No? Rob, you got anything else?
I think what we're starting to find out about a lot of these really, really good football coaches and their staffs, or that they're starting to look beyond 5 stars, 4 stars. Of course, they want to get those guys, but they're looking to see what guys who are out there, do they fit their system for one? And are these guys really as talented as these stars say they are? And you're starting to see a lot of these coaches and their staffs become really good evaluators of talent. And they're going all over the country to get guys where you used to see mainly Florida schools were getting mainly Florida guys, and mainly West Coast teams were mainly getting West Coast guys. Now you see coaches going all over the country getting guys, and they're becoming such great evaluators of talent that we're starting to see players go from their norm or playing in their state to going anywhere in the country to play.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I'm sure NIL had a lot to do with that, huh?
It had some for sure.
Yes, this is the NIL era. Man, I appreciate y'all, man. I love chopping it up about sports with the homies, man. I'm happy y'all can make it in. Hold on, we got one more comment before we get out of here. You need to develop a couple 3 stars because they are a bargain. Hey, that's actually a good comment. That's a really good comment. And I agree with that. But for Rob, with WTP Sports News, with SEC Shine of the SEC Shine podcast, from One Take Zay of the One Take Zay podcast, and me post game of Post Game Sports, we out of here. Peace.